I was downstairs when I heard it. My daughter. She was calling for me. I set my phone down on the coffee table and made my way upstairs to her bedroom. She was 6 and I had just put her down to sleep for the night, so it surprised me to hear her calling. She was usually pretty good about getting to bed on time, so I figured it had to be important. I opened her door. By the light of her little nightlight, I could see her in bed, blankets pulled up over her head. She seemed frightened. I turned the light on and she pulled down the blankets just a bit, just enough for me to see her eyes poking out. "Dad," she said. I walked over to the bed. "What is it, sweetie?" I asked. "There's something in here," she said, her head now fully up from under the blankets. She looked around and so did I. "I don't see anything," I told her. "Maybe you were dreaming." She shook her head slowly, eyes wide as pancakes. "No," she said softly. I hadn't fallen asleep yet. I was thinking about the party we're going to be having at school tomorrow. "Ah," I said. "Too much excitement, huh?" She shook her little head again. I frowned. "What was it?" I asked. "Person?" She nodded yes. "What did they look like?" She shook her head no. I bent down and looked under her bed. Nothing. "Where did you see them?" I asked, getting back on my feet. She pointed at the area behind her door. I moved it and still nothing. I went over to her window and tried it. It was still locked up tight. I looked around her room. The only other place would be the closet. I opened it up and looked in. Her clothes were neatly hung and her toys were stacked to the right. I closed it again. "Nothing there either, sweetie. Why don't you come downstairs with me? I'll make you up a hot chocolate and then we'll get you back to bed." She jumped out from under the covers and ran into the hall. I shut off the light and closed the door behind me. On the way to the kitchen, I picked up my phone and ushered her to the front door. She looked confused, but I held my finger up to my lips in a shushing motion. I put her in the car and started it. As we were backing out of the driveway, her curtain moved. A man looked out the window. When I looked in her closet, I saw his work boots in the corner as he hid behind her clothes. I had to act like I didn't see him. It was the only way to get my daughter out of there safely. Once we made it to the end of the block, I called 911.